Today I'm going to show you how to make this chrome effect that you can apply to objects, but here you can see that I just put it on my name. So to do this exercise, we're going to need to do two things to prep for this. One is I found this typeface through the Adobe fonts, and I want to show you how to do that first. So the first thing we're going to do is we want to open up the Creative Cloud, and when you have your Creative Cloud up, hit Apps here, and then the first thing I'm going to do is search Tutorials and Templates, and I'm going to type in, I should say, so that I can get the Adobe fonts. Alright, and this is a web application, so I will log in real quick. Alright, so now that I am logged in, this is what you should see, and a couple of ways that you can navigate this. So I went in to look for tags, right? So I want something that's like a calligraphy. I also want it to be, let's see, I probably will leave it as, maybe go to script here. I want the weight to be like bold so that I get something that's heavy, you know? And then I will scroll down until I find something that I am interested in. And this is the one that I chose to use, which is called Alfresco. And I just press the plus here. And when you open this, so if I just double click on this, you can actually change the type here so you can see what it's going to look like. But once you've done that, you're going to go ahead and click this Add Font. And once you've done that, I'm just going to minimize this, and then I'm going to close this here. Okay, and then when I come into my application, it should be in here already. So this is what the final outcome should look like, and I'm going to walk you through the steps. So the first thing we're going to do is go to File and go to New. And when I come up with the new, just for the purpose of this exercise, I'm going to do 2048 by 2048, and I'm just going to have the DPI at 72. But before I click this and create, I also want to change the background contents to black. And the reason why I'm going to do black is that the chrome often looks really good against a dark background. So the black here is going to help set it off. So I'm going to press create. Alright, now that I have my black background here, the first thing I want to do now is go to my type tool. And I'm going to click on the type tool, and then I'm going to, I want to make sure that my white is in the foreground here, which it is. And I'm actually also going to change the point size to 300. I think I actually want it to be about 500. So I'll just do 500, and then I'll click onto the artboard. Once I click on the artboard, the default text comes up, and I'm just going to type in my name, but you can type in your name or whatever other sort of type that you would be interested in. Alright, so now that I have this type here in the center of my artboard, now what I want to do is I want to add a layer style. So if I hold down the Option key and I double click on the icon like this, the layers style will come up, and you can see that it also enlarged my text. So I'm just going to slide this over so I can see it a bit as I'm working with this. Alright, so now that we've done this, I want to do a beveled and emboss. So I'm going to click on that, and then I want to go to Inner Bevel. I want to go to Smooth. I'm going to make my depth 1,000. I'm going to go up here. Size, I'm going to do 10, and soften is 5. Now, if you choose to use a different typeface or font, your size and how much you're going to soften it, and some of the other variables other variables here will be different, and you're going to really want to just look for, so that you have, if you look in this little thumbnail here, you can see that it's light here, and then we start to see kind of the sides or the edges showing up here. Alright, when I come down to the angle, so the angle is being picked up by this little icon, this little circle here, you can see, right? So as I move this, you can see that it's changing where it is. So I think that maybe about 82, and I have 82 here. Let's do like 53 here. Alright, So you can see that when I've done this, I have my sides here and I have the highlights on either end here. And you may not see that just yet because depending on what you had, you might have actually had the gloss contour like this one here, this linear gradient here. I'm actually going to select this next one over, this cone. But you can certainly go through any of these to see if you like the effect better. But for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to use this cone. All right, I'm going to have the linear dodge on at 100% and the shadow at a multiply, and I want to move both of my sliders to 100%. All right, I'm going to press OK. All right, now that I have it like that, the next thing I want to do is I want to hold down the Control key and I'm going to click on the file name or the layer name, and I want to create or convert to a smart object, and that allows me to go back in and make adjustments later if I find that I need to tweak something. So I'm going to press convert to a smart object, and then once I have this here, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a layers adjustment here. I'm going to go to curves. Now when I go to curves here, you can see in this box, I'm going to put in 3 points here, kind of like this, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my points up and down so that I kind of get a upside down M or an M. Okay, something that looks a little bit like this. And of course, you know, you can adjust it as needed, like this. You can also, I'm going to probably bring this back up a little bit here. I think that's looking pretty good. And then I'm going to click back over to layers. And when I come into the layers here, I'm going to hold down the Option key and hover between the two so it connects only to the type itself. Okay, now that I've done that, I'm going to add another layer style to this. And I'm going to press down the Option key and double click. Whoops, that's actually not what I want to do here. Let me back up for a moment here. I want to hold down the Control and go to blending options here. And in the blending options here, I'm going to do an outer glow. And when I do the outer glow, I'm just going to move this over so we can see it a little bit better. Okay, so if I don't have it, right, so it's really subtle. But I really want to just kind of work with this, and you can see that if I bring it out or bring it in, the opacity, right, I really want it to be somewhat subtle. I want it to have a reflective quality, so when you think of reflective quality, you can see that the light is bouncing around. So I might do it something at, I don't know, 10, 11, and then I'm going to just adjust the noise to about 2%. Instead of just doing the white, I'm going to do a gradient here that is the foreground to the background. So if you hover to this, or it's actually foreground to transparent, I'm going to click on that. If that is a color in it, all you have to do is click on the icon, and then you can come in here and change the color here. Okay? All right. I'm going to leave it at softer, and I don't want the spread to be very big, so you can see what the spread will look like. I don't want it to have a strong outline here. So I'm going to do something small. I don't know, maybe 15%, the size at 250. I'm going to leave the contour at linear, the range, let's see. You can see what it does when I have the range, right? So I'm going to, I want to make it kind of soft-ish. So maybe come in here about, I don't know, maybe 66. And then the jitter I'm going to leave is really small, so I'm just going to leave this at 3% here, and I'm going to press OK. All right, so now that I have this, it's looking pretty glossy to me. It looks a little bit like chrome, but I'm going to add one additional thing on here that I think will work well in order to make it really look like it's shiny. So I'm going to come on to curves here, and I'm going to select a new layer. Once I have the new layer like this, I'm going to go to my brush tool. Go to my brush tool, and I'm going to click up here to get the dialog box. Now, I have posted some brushes for you to import in here. I already have them imported, but I'm going to walk you through the process. So the process is here, as you go up to this little gear icon, and I'm going to come in up here and go to import brushes. And then once you have your import brushes, you're going to now come in and look at, or look for the file that you were, that are the brushes. And we're looking at these glitter brushes. I'm going to put a little bit of glitter or sparkle or shine onto the lettering here to make it look really shiny. So if I click on this, you can press open. I'm not going to do it because I already have it imported in here, but you can go ahead and press open. I'm going to press cancel, and then here what I'm going to do is I'm going to toggle this closed, and then I'm going to come to my glitter brushes and I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to be looking for a brush that's called Star 7. So you can see that there are lots of little glitter brushes, and then here it is right here. Okay, so you can see that when I move my cursor over, you can see the shape that it's making. I want to make sure that white is the color that we're going to be working with here, and then I'm going to use my bracket keys to make them small or large. And then now I'm just going to click on a few areas that I think the light might show up and make this look a little bit on the shiny side. Something along the lines of this, and then maybe one down here. And let's see, let's do one more. How about there? Okay, all right, so now you can see what looks like it's a chrome effect here. You can always come in and adjust the opacity if you think the opacity is too strong. You can do it a little fainter, a little lighter. I'm probably going to keep it about 80%. I think that looks pretty good. All right, so that's how we make this chrome effect, or we apply it to something, and here we applied it to text.